Hey guys, welcome back to T-Bones Tech. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing the Canon EFS 60mm f2.8 USM lens. So like I said, this is an EFS lens. That means that it is designed to work with cameras with APS-C size sensors, and it's not going to work with full frame cameras. So it's going to work with any of the Rebel cameras and the 80D series and the 7D series. It's not going to be compatible with full frame cameras like the Canon 60 series or the 5D series. And because EFS lenses only work with crop bodies, we're going to have a 1.6 times crop factor for our focal length. So the 60mm lens is going to have a 35mm equivalent of 96mm, and that's a very similar focal length to Canon's legendary 100mm macro lens. And as we can see here, the 60mm lens is so much smaller than this big 100mm lens. But because of the crop factor, the field of view when shooting the 100mm on a full frame camera and when shooting the 60mm on an APS-C camera, the field of view is going to be almost the exact same. But what's really nice about this 60mm lens is it costs about a third of the price, and the only big compromise is that the 100mm has IS built in, and unfortunately the 60mm does not. And without IS when filming macro, things are going to get a little bit shaky, as you guys can see here from this video, but this probably isn't going to be a deal breaker for most photographers. This lens, of course, is a macro lens, and that means that the minimum focusing distance is not going to be very far away from the subject at all. You can be as close as 0.2 meters or 0.66 feet. However, this lens also does focus all the way out to infinity, and that means that you can actually take some really nice looking portraits with this lens. Here's an example of what you can expect when looking down the viewfinder with this 60mm f2.8 lens. I'm filming at f2.8, and as you guys can see, I am in focus and the background is actually very nicely blurred. If you currently have an 18 to 55mm kit lens, this is a huge upgrade from that lens for portraits. When shooting with the 18 to 55mm lens at 55mm, the fastest available aperture is f5.6, and this is an f2.8 lens, so it's going to let in 4 times more light into the camera's sensor, and the backgrounds are going to be 4 times more blurred. Like I said, the 35mm equivalent of this lens is going to bring you to around 100mm, and that's actually not too far off from an 85mm lens, which is ideal for portraiture. This lens has USM autofocusing, which is extremely sharp and relatively silent. So you guys can see here I'm focusing on different subjects, and it really comes into focus very fast. The focus ring on this 60mm lens is very smooth and also very long, and that's really going to help you get very sharp and accurate focusing. I really do like this focus ring. It's actually one of the best I've used in a Canon lens in a long time. The filter size of this lens is 52mm, and that means that we can pick up some relatively affordable filters for this lens. When you get up to 77mm or 72mm, they get a lot more expensive just because they can. This lens has full-time manual focusing, so here we can see a AF and MF switch, and when it's switched to AF mode and when you're autofocusing, you can still twist the focus ring without damaging the motor, which is very important to have. The list price of this lens is around $500, but you can actually pick it up on Amazon for around $400. So for current pricing and availability, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below where you can check this lens out on Amazon. Amazon always seems to have the best deals on camera gear. The lens also has a very nice high quality all metal mount, which feels really good when mounting it onto the camera, and it feels very snug and very solid. This lens is made in Taiwan and not Malaysia, which is actually a good thing. Canon usually produces their cheapest lenses in Malaysia, and their more expensive lenses in Taiwan and also in Japan. Overall, I think this is actually a fantastic lens, especially considering the price tag. It's going to be absolutely great for macro shots, and you can also get some really nice portrait shots with this lens. It has a very nice and wide f2.8 aperture, which is going to let a lot of light into the camera's body, and it's going to give you a really nice looking shallow depth of field. But overall, I think this is an absolutely fantastic lens. For the price tag, you really can't go wrong, and I'm really surprised that this lens really isn't as popular as it should be. I think by far, this is one of Canon's best EFS prime lenses. We're going to do some image quality tests here. We're going to zoom into the center of this brick, and here we can see it is definitely relatively sharp here at f2.8. Stopping down our aperture one stop to f4, we can see we gain a little bit of extra sharpness, and then stopping down to f5.6, we can see here that we really aren't getting any sharpness at all. Maybe it's getting a little bit softer up here in the corners at f5.6, but basically they're the exact same. And now it's time to take a look at vignetting, so make sure to take a look at the corners of this picture. Right now we are shooting at f2.8, which is going to probably give us the most vignetting. When you stop down our aperture, we're going to kind of lose the darkness in the corners here. So stopping down from f2.8, which we're seeing right now, to f4, we can see that the corners get dramatically brighter when just stopping down one stop to f4. Now let's stop down to f5.6. In here, f5.6 to get a little bit brighter, but nothing too crazy. So this lens is definitely going to suffer from some vignetting problems at f2.8, but really nothing too crazy. This really is a very sharp lens. This picture was shot at f2.8, this picture was shot at f4, and then this picture was shot at f5.6. As we stop down, we're going to see more in focus because stopping down is giving us a deeper depth of field. We can see very sharp results here at f5.6, and again very sharp results here in the details here at f4, and again very sharp details here at f2.8. Overall, a very solid lens performer. But that's all I got for you guys in this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up down below. And of course, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and then you'll be notified every single time I put a brand new video to this YouTube channel. But that's all I got for you guys in this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.